Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Films and Stuff podcast. I am Ethan, joined by most valuable Pete. Hey, Pete, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
Everything is good. It is the weekly stream or skip episode. I introduce the episode. You give the rules, usually in 15 seconds or less, but take your time and explain to our new listeners what exactly we are all about here.
Absolutely. Ethan and I have prepared a list of TV shows and movies for each other to watch. Every week we watch at least 2 episodes of a randomly selected show, and based on that, we determine if that show or movie is worthy of being streamed or skipped.
Could not have said it better myself. We are in, can I say a funk?
Bit of a funk or a downturn, yeah.
Yeah, we have not had great luck with the shows that we've chosen for each other, primarily because we are digging deep. We're not choosing, kind of the House of the Dragon, the stuff that we watch on a regular basis. We're choosing new stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point of this, right? We go out of our way to find shows that are maybe a little niche, not mainstream, because otherwise, how are we supposed to find the diamonds in the rough?
Exactly right. So, have we found a diamond in the rough this week, Pete? What did you have? What did I assign to you?
I had a show on AMC Plus called Dark Winds.
I don't remember this. Tell me what it's about.
So Dark Winds is set in Southern America.
South America? Yeah, got it.
No, sorry.
Latin America or like Texas?
Southern United States in New Mexico.
All right.
It's set in the 1970s on basically a Native American reservation.
Oh.
The show is... Let me tell you how the first episode opens, and then you can tell me what you think, all right?
Okay.
The opening scene features a bank heist from an armored car where the escape vehicle is a helicopter.
What? That sounds like a very well-planned heist.
It is an incredibly well-planned heist. And so the show opens with what we would expect a good show to do, which is it's got that hook, right? Because it's a great action sequence. It's a great mystery. We don't know what happens. And then, of course, as you'd expect, there's a double cross. One of the guys who is a part of the heist gets killed by the other heist members. So you're just like, oh, it's like a double or a triple cross. It's pretty good.
You're in. You love a good heist and you love a good double cross. I love a good
heist as it is. So, but the show immediately settles in about a double homicide, unrelated, that happens on the reservation in New Mexico. And the tribal police are called in because they're the ones who have jurisdiction. Normal police officers and the FBI don't have jurisdiction. They do have to work with the FBI because it's a potential homicide. So for homicides, the FBI are allowed to work on reservations, but for regular crime. I don't want to make it sound like that, but for non-homicides, FBI and state police and other police departments do not have jurisdiction on reservations or on Native American land.
Okay.
The first episode really settles in to show that there are a lot of problems between the quote-unquote whites and Native Americans. Okay. Right? And of course, this is set in the 70s, so it's not super surprising. You would expect issues of racism. You would expect issues of jurisdictional conflict. Even today, you expect jurisdictional conflict. That's not a big thing, right? But anyway, the natives have to work with the FBI because they have access to the labs, they have access to better technology, etc. So there's kind of like a deal made, which is the FBI will help out on the homicides if the natives help out with the bank heist, because the helicopter flew into the reservation, and because it's not a homicide on reservation land, the FBI can't investigate it.
Oh,
The homicide that did happen during the bank heist happened outside of the reservation, so the FBI
got
is
it.
called in. Then what happens is a new officer from out of town comes in to work with the tribal police. Like he's this Native American guy
Yeah.
and he's the new deputy. But then we find out that he's actually a mole from the FBI. So he actually he
Oh,
works for the FBI, is Native American, and he's been put in as an undercover agent to work on the tribal police force.
okay.
Right? So there's lots of cool, interesting twists like that.
Yeah.
Of course, the head of the tribal police figures that out immediately and calls him out on it. But he says that I'll work with you and I won't uncover your secret identity. But you have to work with me. We have to solve these two homicides these two deaths that happened on our land before I help you with the helicopter heist. Okay. And then, of course, as with any good series, you learn that the two murders and the helicopter heist are connected.
Of course.
Of course they are. Did you ever watch True Detective?
A little bit. I never really got into it though.
So this series really feels like True Detective, or at least the first
Oh,
season.
really?
There's a mystery behind the murders, but the mystery isn't like a regular mystery. It's almost supernatural and spiritual in nature because, of course, the Navajo have, beliefs in spirits and all these kinds of ritualistic, I guess rituals, right?
Yeah.
So they have a lot of these beliefs, not in, this is going to sound bad, not shamans, but, like they believe in the spirits and the other world, the guides from the ancestors and, other worlds. And
Okay.
so there's like this spiritual element to the deaths that have occurred, and no one's able to figure out what's going on. And it seems almost like there's a supernatural element to these murders, but of course that's not the case. It just seems that way. And it's the same thing that was there in True Detective in the first season. The show is extremely slow paced, but it
Oh,
is not boring. Again, just like True Detective, it's deliberately paced. Episodes feel longer than they are, but it's completely compelling. It's hard to describe accurately because that opening scene with the heist, the double cross with the FBI's, the false identities, that sort of thing, all very good. But here's the big but.
here's the qualifier.
If I had just watched the first two episodes and left it at that, I would have said this is a must subscribe.
Oh, it goes downhill.
It doesn't go downhill per se because the mystery kind of keeps going for the first 5 episodes. There's only 6 episodes. I saw all 6 episodes. I binged it because it was that good.
Wow.
But the reveal at the end of the 6th, which kind of ties in all of the double crosses and it ties in the heist and all of that, it's just not that great.
Is it far-fetched or it's just not that explosive?
No, it's not far-fetched at all. In fact, I think it would have been better if it were far-fetched. It's just not that explosive. And so the reveal kind of is a bit of a letdown.
That's tough when you get to the last episode.
It's tough when you get to the last episode. And again, if I had stopped watching at 2 or even at 4 episodes, I would have said this is a strong must subscribe. I would have immediately called you up and said, hey, you need to watch this. I think you're going to enjoy this. But I think that if you had sat through the 6th episode, you too, like me, would have felt a bit of a bittersweet disappointment. Again, it's not bad. It's just that sometimes you actually wish that there were some mysteries that were left relatively unsolved or, unexplained. And in this case, they over-explain it, and the explanation is so, I don't want to say generic, but it almost feels so generic after the first 5 episodes where there's kind of like a supernatural element where someone feels like they're cursed, the gods are after them, that kind of thing. It kind of is a letdown. So I downgraded it from a must subscribe to a mooch.
What do you think about being set in the 70s? Is it done well? Is it believable?
It feels good. It's set in the 70s, but it doesn't feel like it's set in the 70s. Like you're still on a reservation. So it's not like you're seeing Teslas driving around. It's not like you're seeing flat panel displays and advertising boards everywhere. You're not
Yeah.
seeing holograms or anything like that. And it's
Mhm.
also, again, not to denigrate New Mexico, it's also New Mexico, right? It's not exactly known for being like downtown Los Angeles or
Yeah.
San Francisco or, Times Square. It's New Mexico. It's a small town. It's kind of like in Breaking Bad. They deliberately chose a place that's, like Albuquerque, which is a bit quiet. It's a bit low key. Everything's very low key.
Yeah.
So you could have set this in 2024. And honestly, I don't think I would have felt much of a difference.
I have to say, I really have an appreciation for shows that have such a setting where they age well.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like, oh man, like it's all iPhone texting, right? And like that's like we've seen those shows, right? And they're so heavy on texting and technology that if you catch it like 2 years later, it's like, oh my God, is that an
Totally
iPhone
outdated.
12?
Exactly.
Like, is that a BlackBerry? Like it's better when technology doesn't come into it. And if you don't see the show right away, it's okay. You're not really missing anything, you know?
Or I like those shows. So based on your recommendation, I went and saw Counterpart.
Yes.
And I binged both seasons in like
so
2
good,
days.
right?
Yeah. And that's almost the exact opposite, where it is kind of tech based and, futuristic, but there again also doesn't feel out of time because they don't really focus on the technology, even though, tech plays a big part into it.
Yeah. I would say the same thing with like Outer Range, Yellowstone, like because of where those shows are based.
Yeah.
You don't really feel so much that and people don't really get a lot of like phone calls on their cell phone or stuff like that. You feel like those could take place kind of like anytime,
Yeah. Again, and that's because they're in low key places, right? And again, I don't want to denigrate New Mexico, but in the same sense, right? Like, again, it's not a population center of real density.
I hope we have a lot of New Mexico listeners and we get a bunch of comments.
For the 2 guys there who are driving 30 miles out to get Wi-Fi.
Oh my God. Boycott Pete. Boycott Pete.
That's right. I said it.
Look at him. All right. This sounds pretty interesting, though. I have to say, Dark Winds on AMC Plus.
Yeah. I would recommend that if you get a chance, watch it. I wouldn't say that you have to drop everything and watch it. I do think you'll enjoy it. I just would say that, hey, it's a show that if you've got a couple hours to fill, this would be one of them, but you kind of have to watch it. You can't just leave it on in the background.
Let me ask a relevant question. How do you watch AMC Plus? Do you need a subscription, or this is one of these things you can get through Apple TV Plus?
So I get it through, hilariously enough, Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that's good about Amazon is that Amazon has become this great aggregator of niche services. So I don't know if you remember, but a couple, maybe even like 6 months ago or a year ago, I sent you a bunch of screenshots through Amazon Prime. You can subscribe to like almost like these, those premium packages that you get on old school cable.
Yeah.
It's the same thing where you can get access to a bunch of different streaming services that aren't available natively in whatever country you're in. So I got AMC Plus a couple of years ago when we had that Stanley Tucci show.
Yeah.
And I've just had it ever since because it's only like, I don't know, an extra $2 a month or whatever it is.
Got it. That's AMC Plus, Dark Winds. Can we talk a little bit about what you're going to be assigned for next week? I know it's a little bit out of order, but I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, next week I have got an Apple TV show that, again, you recommended, but I haven't seen. Constellation.
Yeah, I have watched it. So next week we can have a good discussion about what you think about it.
Okay.
From Breaking Bad, Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah.
I don't know what his real name is. He's in it.
Okay.
All right. So, Pete.
This one I'm looking forward to because I watched the original and I loved it as a kid or, as a young adult or no, as a teen. I can't remember. I'm not that old. But anyway.
All right. So I had on Apple TV Plus a new show that's out, but it's a remake of a movie.
Yeah.
And What year did the movie come out? I want to say like 1984, 1985. Am I right on that?
81, yeah. 81, 82.
81, called Time Bandits. Pete, I've never heard of this, but you said it was a movie and you loved it as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So they made a remake, a few things. I feel like it's strange to make a remake. So this is 1981. This is coming out in 2024. I'm just going to do quick math. That's 40 years later, right?
Yeah.
Which is very strange because it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of other people. It's Taika Waititi, who we actually love from a lot of the stuff that he's done with MCU. But I never heard of this before, so I kept an open mind. The cast is headlined by Phoebe from Friends, Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah.
No one else have I ever heard of. And I've done some except Taika Waititi. And I've done a pretty deep dive on IMDb. Everyone is respected, but not well known at all, which is okay. Time Bandits, I will try to explain it, and you tell me if this is consistent with the movie. Time Bandits is basically about a group of misfits who work for the supreme being, God, and they don't like working for God. So they decide, for one reason or another, that instead they're just going to steal his map of not even the universe, I guess, of Earth. And they're going to go travel from time to time to different periods and just steal God's stuff, kind of as a way to give him the middle finger and kind of just because they can. They link up with a kid who in this show is 11 years old. And he is kind of like you would classify him as kind of like the nerdy, studious kid. And he's important because he knows all things about history. So this group of misfits in their journeys where they don't know anything about anyone in any time period, the kid is very valuable because he can put a lot of context, exposition, explain everything. He knows all the details. So they go every episode, basically, they're in a different time period, stealing something new, trying to stay one step ahead of God. Is that consistent with the movie?
Kind of.
You said you loved the movie, and I'll take you at your word for it. The TV show is horrible. It's horrible. I want you to watch it because I want a second opinion, because I'm really surprised that the strong feelings that you had for the original movie, the fact that Taika Waititi is behind this, it's surprising how bad this is to me. And I read a few reviews online as well, just to make sure that I wasn't like catching it if I was in a bad mood or a bad day, or I wasn't focused, or it gets better at the end. There's 7 episodes out. It is really miserable. And I'm not sure whether it's a humor that I'm not getting or whether it's something more. But the band of, I guess I'm not really in love with the entire premise. I mean, I understand that's the story, but I'm not really in love with the entire premise of why they're trying to do this, just because they didn't like working for the Supreme Being. The Supreme Being is super weird in this show. I know that Taika Waititi's got his own
style.
Yeah, he's got his own style, and he's doing this what's funny to him. It's not even like within the realm of humor to me. Like sometimes we watch something and we know like there's a laugh track, you're supposed to laugh, and maybe it doesn't like hit, but you're like, oh, okay, I got it. I'm not even like close to laughing here. It's a weird style. I'm not sure who's going to find it, to be honest, funny. And the group of, what would I call them? Misfits? What would you call them?
Yeah, misfits is a good word for it. Yeah.
They're led by Lisa Kudrow, who's supposed to be kind of like their leader. This is falling really, really flat. And it's falling flat because they're all so stupid. I could get it that like they're kind of like lower level people that work for the Supreme Being, so they don't have a great understanding. They're not geniuses. But here they're coming across as so stupid, like intentionally ignorant about like everything, history, context, who is that? Why is he angry? What's he doing? What's this all about? It's just not funny at all. The kid, Kevin, is not bad, I have to say. I mean, they definitely make him weird in the show. And I think that's consistent with, what he was in the original movie. But I mean, without him holding this group together, they would just be like awful to watch, to be honest. I'm really surprised that the show got made, or maybe I'm not surprised because Taika Waititi does have a lot of like leverage. So I can understand that he probably pitched it. It's this historical IP. He obviously probably loved the movie when he was a kid. He wanted to do a remake, Apple TV Plus, like looking for something, Lisa Kudrow. I can see how it got made, but even the reviews I've read, they have not been complimentary at all.
Okay.
I would say this is among the worst shows that I've watched for our streamer skip. It is an unquestionable skip for me right now, but not to torture you, I would love for you to watch one episode so that you can provide the reality check and say, Ethan, like, you're way off. This does have some very subtle humor. You had to like the original and maybe you would like this as well. Or you can say, Ethan, you're spot on. I don't know how this possibly got made. It's a insult to the original that was so clever. And I don't know. I'd really like to hear what you say about it.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm happy to do that homework because I do have fond memories.
Yeah.
Now, caveat, I haven't seen the original in a long time. I was younger. So, there's so many movies now that I remember very fondly when I was a child that I would be afraid to watch because I'm afraid they won't have aged well.
Yeah.
So this could be one of those. So I will watch this. I will watch it with as objective an eye as I can. Yeah. And I'll let you know.
Lisa Kudrow, which we haven't seen her in a lot of stuff, really. And apart from her role on Phoebe, and remember Romy and Michelle's high school reunion?
Yeah.
She is also in The Comeback. She's had a few things. This is not great. Will we be redeemed next week? You gave me Sabura on Netflix. Do you know anything about this?
I do not.
Sabura is an Italian gangster movie.
Oh.
Think of it as The Wire of Italy, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I know about it, and I am very, very excited to watch it.
Okay, great. And as we spoiled earlier, I will be watching Constellation on Apple TV Plus, which also you've seen.
I think we have maybe ended the down period, and maybe we're going to get to something else, because even if you look at our streamer skip lists, like we each put, I think like we had about like 8 shows for each other. And we kind of got just out of like just circumstance, we kind of got to the ones that were less exciting first.
Yeah.
And now hopefully the more exciting ones, I think, are coming down the pike. So we should have some good stuff coming up.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. So that is stream or skip.
Indeed. But in the meantime, guys, I mean, we keep saying this every week. Our list of shows is dwindling and dwindling fast. So please reach out to us and let us know what shows we can add to our list. You can tweet at us at F&S Podcast. You can DM us on Instagram at Films and Stuff Podcast. But the easiest way to let us know what shows we should be watching, you can leave a comment below this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell.
All right, listeners, thank you for tuning in. Pete, as always, the most valuable. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week, next episode of the Films and Stuff Podcast. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Ethan.
Bye now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.